What's up? Yo, Bagyo, yo, Zembelik, you guys are supporters. Yo, today is about relationship version 2.0. I'll be speaking with Ryan. Hey, hi Brian. Hi Bagyo. So Ryan will be joining in real soon. So he's the one who dropped a lot of relationship bomb. Wow, Bagyo, shag. Today is my rest day. Tomorrow, then I will work out. Hey, sup Min? Long time no see, Min. Hi Yan Ting. Yeah, Ryan. I never do podcast, bro. Too much commitment. Hey, Zohari. Okay, Ryan is in. Let's go.
Oh man,
What's up,
Daryl.
man? What's up,
man? How are you?
Today shirt's on.
That's it, man. Not in bed yet, you know. Feeling damn tired and fulfilled, like you would say, man. But I always got to show up, you know.
That's right, loving it. So, in fact, I saw your Instagram story just immediately before this IG live. You care to share more about it?
Which one, man? There's a few. Which one?
The one that spoke about the lady, the woman is afraid of showing her heart, her love, and attracting the wrong guys and shit.
Oh, I love it, man. It's from a book called Dear Lover by David Data, man. It's a phenomenal book. It talks a lot about how, I guess, over time, because, okay, firstly, there's a book called The Way of the Superior Man. I really recommend that, man. All guys and even girls, you know, for their, give it to their young brothers.
Can you type out the title?
Yeah, bro, I'll type it. I got it holding my books up, so I can't show it, but I'll type it here.
Okay, sure.
Phenomenal book, man. I recommend it for all guys. It should be taught in school, actually.
I'll check it out.
How did you go with the Seneca book, man? Did you look into that?
I purchased it. So
Nice,
yeah, got it from Book Depository, I think. Yeah. So you'll be coming soon.
The way. Oh, thanks, Baggio. Cool, got it there.
Okay,
yeah.
The Way of a Superior Man, right?
Phenomenal, man. It's such a good book. It talks a lot about, like, you would love it, man. It talks a lot about purpose, and basically how it talks a lot about the masculine and the feminine energies. I don't know if that's something. Is that something you know a lot about, or not really?
Not really.
Okay. Oh, dude, it's gonna be good to get into this, but you know, it talks a lot about as humans, and like, for example, as a guy, you can be predominantly based in the feminine energy spectrum, or you might be in the masculine. And it sounds a bit weird when you first hear it, because people think, how can a guy be a feminine guy, or how can he be a more masculine guy? And sometimes we're just balanced, or you know, there's certain mix. You know, a guy might be, say, 65% masculine or feminine, and he's got to work out that energy balance for himself. So the book talks a lot about that, and it's interesting, Daryl. I think sometimes the most important thing for a relationship is actually the energy balance. You know, people think it's values. Some people think it's, you know, the vibe, which I think is vibe's quite important, and character. But I think above all else is the actual energy balance, you know, because if you've got someone who's predominantly in the masculine and then the other person's in the masculine, you're both occupying that same masculine space. So you're going to clash over a lot of different things. If you're both in the feminine, oftentimes, you know, no one's actually leading the relationship. People are kind of, you know, they're not, they're wanting to be led by the other person. So that's why it's like a seesaw. You want to have this kind of balance of the masculine and feminine to even things out.
Yeah, indeed, it kind of makes sense to me. So, what are your thoughts, right, with regards to? Okay, a bit embarrassing to admit this lah, on live. You know when there's on days when nobody's watching, when me and my girlfriend alone, right, I'll be a little boy in front of her. So how does that work out? Like, you know, is there a theory to all these things, or what?
Say that again.
So I assume it's not just me, lah, right? I assume many other guys out there as well. When they're alone with their girlfriend, there'll be a little boy in front of the girlfriend. So is there a theory for that shit, or how does it work?
I don't know if that plays into energy balance as much, man. I guess it's more the dynamics of the relationship, and how you kind of have fun and whatnot. But yeah, I guess that's the thing to remember, is that we're always shifting in terms of the energy balance. You know, like the guy might be predominantly in the masculine, and the woman might be in the feminine. But sometimes they can shift. You know, sometimes the man might come down, and let the woman step into the masculine a bit more, and vice versa. And it's not like a bad thing if the guy's in the feminine and the woman's in the masculine. It depends. But I think that getting the energy balance is probably the most important thing in the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what Bagyo said is kind of true as well. She's supposed to see the most vulnerable side of me, so it kind of makes sense. But going back to what you said about energy, right? So like for myself, it really kind of makes sense now. I see it in my relationship. Like most of the time, I'll be the one that's leading it, and she's okay just following the flow. And imagine if there's an alpha male, female version of me, I would definitely have a lot of conflict with her.
That's right.
Yeah. So another thing about your post that caught my attention, right, was actually females who are afraid of revealing their love, right, will most likely attract douchebags and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that so, though? You know, why is that so?
It's cool, man. I think so. The book, David Data wrote "Way of the Superior Man," and I guess that's for the males, and then for the females is the one I posted up called "Dear Lover," and he writes it in like a sonnet form, so like letters from like a woman's perspective. And I guess the main tenet of what he said is that women, after dating so many guys who are like not good for them or whatnot, they kind of develop these layers around their heart. They become very guarded, and it's a good question from what you say. Of what you ask is that, I think that, it's just like natural experience. I've been chatting to a few different people, in the past few days about this, like women, and it's just, I don't know, it's natural to, well, I don't know if it's natural, but it just happens that, they date like certain guys, and even for guys, we date girls, when we look back, we've come a long way and hopefully we're progressing, but I think that, sometimes we can get with the wrong person.
Yep. I think what Bagyo said makes sense as well. He said that it's because these girls don't have a checklist. They don't even know what they're looking for, right? And it goes back down to something that I always share with my clients, right? If you don't internalize the lesson, life will give you the same shit again and again. It looks like it's the same for relationship. If you're dating a douchebag who don't respect your privacy, for example, then you didn't realize that this is a very big issue. The next guy that come along the way, you just allow him or her, right, to take your privacy away as per usual, and you ask yourself, why is it that all the guys are like that? Very often we hear that kind of bullshit. Why is this happening to me? But the thing is they never learn the lessons.
That's right. It's important to learn. I think also what people don't always understand is that you always attract your reciprocal in a relationship, like in terms of your like mate value, like an evolutionary psychologist would call it that. If you're say a 7, you might get an 8 or a 6, but it's really rare to get like a 7 gets a 1 or whatnot, and you attract your reciprocal in terms of your your level of development and maturity. That's why as we do the inner work, as we, as you would say, develop our purpose, our passion, internalize those lessons, we're able to, get better people, and we develop ourselves a lot.
Yes. 10 upon 10 for that. So I always use this a bit complacent for me to say this, right? I told this to Bagyo's offline. I said, if we are Lamborghini and Ferrari, why would we settle for a Honda or Suzuki? Would you agree?
Yeah,
right. In
true.
terms of your mindset, I'm talking about in terms of mindset, not in terms of wealth or whatever. Right? If you know your worthiness deep down inside, you'll naturally find a partner who's able to be on the same level. So I guess what you just said truly makes sense. And the key here is, I think, talking about which, right? The key here is, where are you getting your leads? Where are you actually getting all these Lamborghini girls? Is key.
Yeah.
Not from just those dating apps. Like go for seminars, courses, and all this kind of stuff. Will increase your likelihood, of picking someone comments. Yeah. Proton.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's
Okay,
right. It's
so
like lead generation. Where are we getting the leads? I mean, Baguio,
yes,
we had he called me last night for about 2 hours. We had an interesting chat on like Tinder and dating apps and where to find these women. You know, cold approach is kind of good. It's hard for guys to do. I might do that shortly. But maybe where to like these high quality women or these Ferraris, as you say, they're hanging out,
yeah.
maybe these art galleries, different places. Yeah, lead generation, man.
You can try going for a painting classes like this.
Aha,
Probably,
so good.
yeah, yeah. Probably you can meet some girls, artistic girls. Yeah. The last time I was single, I went for a painting class like this. The teacher was 10 out of 10, man.
Uh, yeah, dude, it's a good
Yeah,
first date. Take them for wine and painting or something.
yeah, definitely. Hey, hi Nizam, welcome. We're just talking about relationships and things like that. So, apart from that, what other questions that we probably might have? What other questions that you guys have about relationships? Uh, how important is it, right, for you to know yourself first before you embark on a relationship? Let's elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, you might have some more things to add on that, Daryl. I think that there's a good guy, actually, one of my friends sent me his Instagram. His name's Nakata. He talks a lot about a man finding his purpose before a relationship. I mean, you see guys get it wrong all the time, like including myself in the past, where when we don't know what we want and we go out there and try to date women, it kind of comes across in the subcommunication that we're not confident in ourselves and we don't have that intention for the woman. Whereas if we know our purpose, we know what our vision or mission is, and then we go out there, we're almost more magnetically attracted to these women. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Daryl?
10 upon 10, I have to agree with you. So previously, right, honestly, when I was getting girls from apps and stuff like that, uh, I only can compete in terms of the looks. I was playing the looks game, but at that point in time, I was building my business, so I am building my business game. So try to be one up those guys. But I guess those are still quite superficial. And when you actually talk about something from the core, from the heart, your dreams, your purpose, your passion, and the girl can feel it. The key is feeling it. So that is how I differentiate myself from the vast majority of other guys who are talking on a superficial level. And I think the dream or the purpose that you might have, right, acts as a qualification. Whether the girl can click with you or she's being repelled by you. Right? If you're too deep for her, she's like, this guy is boring. On the other hand, the flip side, if she really can understand your dream and she continues the conversation on a deeper level, to me, is attractive, right? She's charismatic. And that's what I get from my girlfriend. She's able to vibe with me on a very deep level. Yeah. Baguio.
Yeah, dude, I agree so much. I think that it's rare. When I talk to different women about, what are they seeing on dating apps, and when they talk to guys, I think, and I don't know, in full, but I think things like confidence is quite, attractive to them, but also knowing your purpose, because that's what differentiates you from, I guess, from other guys out there. And sometimes I feel if the woman can see how she can fit into your purpose, whether that's, supporting you or being a part of your, your journey upwards, I think that's also quite attractive to them.
Yes, for sure. And Brian calling me Daddy Daryl sounds super wrong, bro. Baguio and then Brian. Oh shit. Yeah. Mother Ryan. Yeah. I really think that school should teach all this stuff, right? I think some of my painful lessons that I learned in the relationship game, right, was that I was aimlessly looking for something to fill the emptiness within. I don't know how many of you can relate to that. If you can, comment yes. Right? So, I mean, for yourself, do you feel that way?
You mean, am I looking right now to fill voids in myself,
No,
or have I
not right now, but like in the past, have you experienced that?
Yeah, definitely. I would say so, man. We've all looked to fill, ourselves when we have a void. Like, that can come from many things. Like, let's say we've just broken up. There's that emotional void, and a lot of people look to fill that. They go back to their ex or find someone else or a side bitch, like you
Yes.
say, or whatever, to fill that. Or worst come worst, they don't use someone to fill it. They use an addiction. They use like cigarettes, smoking, drugs, to kind of fill this hole. And it really is something special to kind of to deep dive, do this deep surgical operation, dig up the shit, or fill it with like doing that deep inner work. So when you meet someone who's good for you, you actually can attract them. Because that's the worst thing I feel is that you stumble upon someone who's like really good for you, like really attractive, and they're a perfect fit for you, good energy balance, all this, but you're not ready for it. And yeah, she, that's the thing, a high quality woman, 10 out of 10, she can see straight through our bullshit. She's going to not be willing to, even invest in us if we're not ready for her. So we need to be ready ourselves.
Yeah, as you're saying that, right, I really can visualize a picture. I really want you guys to imagine as well. So imagine this a road, and when you are broken, there's a little tiny crack. Instead of you doing the inner work to fill up some cement to fill it up, right, you take drugs, addictions, and all this stuff, or like drinks, and you dig deeper and deeper, and right now there's a bigger crack. And if you just imagine you're that perfect partner, she is supposed to walk across, but right now there's a crack, she has to walk another side or like the opposite direction, and there goes the opportunity. So that is how I put that, whatever you just described to me, right, into a picture. So really, instead of you dig deeper and destroying yourself on the inner world, right, try to do some inner work, fix yourself up, right, from the inner to the outer world. And I really believe that you will radiate so brightly that you can attract the right one. I truly believe in that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Daryl. I think that is, solid to do that deep inner work. And the reality is everyone has deep inner work. Like some people have been through childhood traumas. I know you've talked a lot about it in the past where, your parents in and out, that kind of creates some uncertainty and it flows through to lots of other things. But even people who haven't been through big adversities, there's still inner work to be done, for myself. And obviously we chatted about the parental divorce the other night. That creates stuff to work through, old managers and things like that. So everyone has this inner work to do. And the reality is that if you don't do this inner work, like you can't run from your problems in life. I believe that, you can, as you said, you can fill the crack with, some temporary addiction or whatnot. But at the end of the day, the earthquake comes, it shatters, and the crack comes even deeper, and everyone gets fucked up after that.
I love the earthquake analogy, man. Yeah, right. Then and another point that brings me to is that brings us to this point, right, is what are your thoughts that you share your past trauma with your partner? Do you think that's extremely important, or nah, we can do without?
It's a good question. I really like it. I mean, I've got 2 books here. I wanted to show you this one. We talked about it the other night, The Road Less Traveled. It's about spiritual growth and love and relationships and parenting as well.
Okay.
He talks a lot about, your partner or someone needing to be ready to accept that spiritual growth. So I really believe, it's important to share that, and you should, but you also should make sure they're ready to receive those gifts, or, they're ready to receive that information, because the worst thing is, you don't want to project your inner wounds onto other people if they can't, kind of foster that safe space and hold space for you.
I really have to agree. So it might be something very private for me to admit this, but currently my girlfriend and I'm trying to understand her wounds so that I can help her to, of course, bring her to the next level, right? But as a coach, I don't want to come off as too pushy, but as a boyfriend, at the same time, I try to be supportive. So it's very hard for me to draw the line in between there. And but I definitely take your advice to heart, right? So I must make sure that she's ready and I am ready to embrace all her past trauma and things like that. So it's kind of complicated, to be honest with you. If it's someone that like just a client or student, I can be able to draw the line immediately. Yeah, so there is some complication right there. But anyway, Nizam asked us, right, what are some inner work that we have done? So I'll probably share first. So for myself, I'm not blessed with coaches or whatever when I was younger, right? So what happened was my financial downfall in terms of family business woke me up a little bit. So I was shaken because apart from money, back then when I was younger, I didn't have anything that I can take pride in. So it was really on the outer world, right? On the outer world, I had condo, 3 cars and shit like that. And when you take that away, what's there? What's my family? I have nothing. And that kind of caught me by surprise. And to the extent where I told my friends, hey, I got no more nice cool ass condo with bowling alley. I got no more cars. If you don't want to be my friend, it's cool. I'm surprised that my friends were there and supportive, and right now we are still friends. And that made me realize, one thing, that like I still have some certain level of value inside me, but I don't know what exactly it is. So that's where I started doing the inner work. I try to look into my past, my characteristic strengths. I try to see what are some things that I'm good at. For example, my sense of humor. For example, my resourcefulness. And I start digging deeper and deeper. And along the way, I started getting validation from career. I guess some of you out there might relate to this, where you are not sure about your inner self, what validation or worthiness do you have. You go out there into the society and try to make something good out of yourself. And yeah, that was what I've gone through. So I take my commission, my sales figures, right, as my pride. I am my money. I am the money I make. So that was dangerous as well. At one month I was making 7,000, but I was just so sad in my soul, you know. And that's where I started doing like this on this pursuit, right? What is happiness? What is purpose? So then I embark on this entire chapter of passion, purpose, and spiritual growth. What I realized was that uh, I need to be someone that I needed when I was younger. Simple as that. Like if you ask me why am I coaching others, right? It's because how I wish I had a coach. Why do I want to be a stay home dad by 35? It's because how I wish I had a stay home dad. So it's really in a nutshell, that was my journey, and I truly understand that my purpose lies in my past. Yeah, so that's all I want to share. So for
Yeah, I
yourself,
love that. Yeah, thanks for sharing, man. It's quite deep, and that's the problem, I guess. Sometimes when we have material possessions and we attract these people, girlfriends or partners or friends or acquaintances, sometimes, honestly, we don't know, are they attracted to us because of the possessions and the perceived status, perceived wealth? Like it's happened to me in the past where, because I think we're similar, Daryl. I approach friendships from a very genuine perspective, and I would never be friends with someone just purely for a status thing. So when I assume that when people are my friends, they're doing it from the good of their heart and being genuine. But when I've been fucked over in the past, it's when people they're doing stuff just because they want something, or like let's say you have a nice car or a nice house, or someone and they want to leverage your connection. You don't know if it's genuine. So I think that's the real test. When shit hits the fan, you hit rock bottom, you lose everything, you see who's still there, who's your true friends. And, once that's the case, then, you solidify that inner circle and you build from that, and then the ones who aren't down for you, they auto reject.
yeah, for sure, I have to agree with you with that. So I'm also very curious, like for yourself, what are some inner work you have done though, to answer Nizam's question?
Yeah,
Apart
it's a
from
great
your
question, man.
meditation, apart from a meditation trip.
Yeah, the meditation of Vipassana was interesting. It was good to go through and, get away from the craving, aversion, and whatnot. But some of the other stuff, Dr. John DeMartini, he has, this kind of method. I don't know if you've heard of him about removing emotional charges. So a lot of, the emotional defilements that we all have, like ego, greed, shame, all these things that kind of pull us away from balance. He teaches you how to go in and neutralize these charges. So that's something I'm kind of looking at right now. It's a bit about the Hermetics principles and things like that. But I've also done some other inner work courses about going deep into your insecurities, going back on the timeline in your mind. So go back and set up a timeline where you are now and all your past, and think of like some traumatic moments, some things that fucked you up as a child or whatnot.
Yep.
For me, a bit of bullying, a bit of divorce and whatnot. Go through it, and it sounds weird, but you take this helicopter and you go back and you kind of lift all the shit up and you kind of visualize it to bring it to the surface. And once you've done that, you remove it, and somehow you just feel a lot lighter, because you've, instead of like most people, they've kind of pushed that shit down in you, and it makes the crack worse and makes it so much so it makes it so much more worse when that earthquake happens. But if you can, basically pull it out and face in your demons up front, then they can't ever haunt you again because you've taken them out, whereas most people just bury them.
Yes, I guess my bad for not elaborating on the actual framework that I used. I just shared with you my journey, but I didn't share with Nizam the actual framework. So to answer Nizam's question, right, exactly spot on, what Ryan said was true. So I went back to my past, right, and I visualized a very compelling future of what can I do to make things right. I give you an example. My past was the fact that I had a family crisis. We had to downsize our lifestyle. So in the future, I visualized myself building my entire family back up. Right, I built my family back up, and presently I will have to build businesses or I have to impact some lives to get to where I'm going. So that is just one example, by the way. So it could be in the past, right? I didn't have a bonding time with my family, my dad to be particular, right? In particular, so in the future, I really want to be a stay-home dad for my kids, and currently I'm acting as if I already have Kayla and Kaden. So these are some things for me to do my inner work so I can face my demon. I want to highlight a certain thing that I think Viktor Frankl mentioned: seek meaning from suffering. And I believe a lot of other books like The Alchemist also mentioned that as well. On your journey to something is more important than the final destination. So I might not be able to hit my goal of being a stay-home dad by 35, but it's the journey that molded me to be a better person. Yeah, so I guess it's all this inner work that help both of us.
That's right. I think also seeing the truth for what it truly is, and doing things for other people, like we can be motivated to help ourselves. But I love your vision of your future children, because you're doing this not for yourself like you are, but you've got a bigger vision, which is I'm doing it for my two children when they grow older. I want them to look back and see who I am in this moment, and I'm doing it right now for you guys. They can watch you at this age, man.
So I just want to add on to the point, right? I'm being selfless. No, I'm being selfishly selfless. This is something very interesting. So whatever that I do, and I realize, right, it's in a pattern, right? Whatever that I do, there's definitely a level of selfishness in it. So I give you an example. Why do I even want to coach all these students, right? Was because in the past I was helpless. And now I want to feel that sense of power, the sense of impact that I can have in someone else. So, and it's very brutal, very no judgment kind of concept. Like, if you can be honest with yourself and ask yourself, hey, why do I like to, for example, some people like to sing. You can sing at home, no? Why must you sing on IG Live? What is it that you truly gain? Is it to truly bring joy in people's life by letting them hear your voice? Or you want that sense of pride when people say, hey, you can sing very well? So everything, there's a layer or there's a level of selfishness, and you must embrace it. Be honest about it. So like, I think the episode of me being kind, yeah, I was selfish because I want to feel good about myself, and I just be selfless and gave the little boy tissue. There's nothing wrong about it. But those people who ignore, they're being selfish to themselves, actually. They denied themselves from the happiness. Yeah. So it was a very big enlightening moment when I just watched these people, right? There were at least 12 packs looking at the poor boy not doing anything, and I'm just like, I'm not bitter about it, by the way. I'm just like, cool. They're just very, very they're living in a very, how do I call it, a very, I don't know what's the word to describe this. They're not living life to the fullest potential in my
like a shallow life, or like leaving money on the table, really. Yeah.
Yes. Like, there's so much for them to experience, so much for them to internalize, but they just go through daily life motion by motion, and it just kind of saddens me.
Yeah, I do believe that for the most part, I really do believe that we've got to do things as a mix of selfish and selfless desires. Like, you look at people who are truly selfless, Mother Teresa and whatnot. But I really feel that if you do things purely for other people, there may not be as much motivation. But if you can balance it out, obviously do things for yourself, because you got to take care of yourself first to give your best gifts to the world. But if you take care of yourself and then also pursue that greater mission, whoever that might be, to serve other people, is good.
Yeah, for sure. Even the fact that you want to help other people, right? There's a level of selfishness in it as well. Like, it could be sense of achievement when you help someone, sense of contribution when you help someone, sense of validation. The fact that I can cook for my family, for example, and my family said, hey, Daryl, you're a good chef. God damn, if you're good, I want to do more of that shit. So if people really can understand, when you help someone, you're actually helping yourself first. And naturally you'll get that abundance mindset, and people like to play with abundance people, right? I mean, people with abundance mindset, and givers always win. I don't know how to advocate this enough. Givers always win.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, the fact that we can gel so quickly, right, through Zoom, was the fact that we are givers since day one. We gave each other non-stop wisdom and bomb, and just help each other out non-stop.
That's right, man.
Right? Versus someone coming from a very scarcity mindset, like, hey, Ryan, what can you give me? Who would want to play with someone who's always taking and stuff like that? So
that's right.
I just want the audience to really internalize, right? If you have not been giving, or if you have not been operating from an abundance mindset, it's time to change your operating system here. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, man. I think it's something that Gary Vee talks about as well. Like, there's so much money on the table, there's so much of a market out there. And that's the thing. Even if you take 0.0001%, that's so much. And there's so much out there, basically. So never think with a scarcity mindset. And I really believe that we attract what we fear. Like, you've got people out there who have like they call it an emergency day fund. They're like scared of something happening to them, and the reality is they attract that trauma or that problem or that operation into their life. Obviously have some savings, but you attract to what you fear or what you feel, the vibrations, so we should, go with abundance, go with all this stuff, and attract the good into our life,
Yeah, like, there's this movie, The Secret. Have you watched it?
I haven't, but I've heard about it. The law of attraction.
You've definitely heard of it. Yes, law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
So recently I just caught that movie. It was about the lady, right? She's a mom. She has 3 kids, and in her mind, she's living in a rundown house. In her mind, she just keep thinking, what's the next problem that's gonna happen? And true enough, there was a storm and her house was damaged. You know, and it's really like what you say, attention, energy, something about energy go, attention flow, something like attention go, energy flow. Yeah, exactly. So wherever you put your attention at, right, there's energy going there. So instead of always focusing on negative stuff, might as well be slightly more positive. And think of the you know, the optimistic side of the stuff. So I was not always like that, guys. I was always negative, unhappy about my life. I think it was only after Gary Vee, yeah, he inspired me. Just keep saying the worst case that could ever happen, right, is you or your family die. If that is legit the worst case, that's the freaking baseline. Anything above is a bonus, though, if you can truly internalize that.
Oh, that's right.
Shit.
That's right. I think we should always also go back to intention as well. Like, you know, always understand what's the intention. Like, what are you doing things for? Like you said before, am I doing it for an ego hit? Am I doing it for validation? Am I doing it to serve other people? Is it a mix of these things? Always understand. I think if we can actually understand the intentions of why we do things, it makes it clear to us.
I agree. And that's why I highly recommend all my students, right, to do the art of internalizing. It goes down to all your multiple possible reasons, right, why you're on this call. Like for me, why am I on this call? Number one, probably to share my knowledge. Number two is for me to break through. Number three, probably is for me to connect with my friend. And there's so many multiple whys, right? Probably inner why, right? The real truth, right, is probably for me to show off, get a sense of validation that I'm smart. Probably, I don't know. But if you were to do the inner work and articulate real why, people can really understand you on a deeper level, and half the battle is already won. Versus someone who's doubting your motive. Yeah, and you yourself don't know your motive.
That's right. We can only consciously know so much, but sometimes it's like a deep-seated, rooted fear and insecurity, which, you know, we might never know. So again, we've got to try to have the awareness.
So I just want to share one of the episode, right? My student shared me that was like, wow. I asked him, you know, like we were asking, I was asking about likes and dislikes. So I asked him, what's one thing that you like? And he actually shared that like he likes swimming. So I dig in a little bit more. I said, oh, why swimming? So he said, it gives me a sense of calm. I said, oh, why calm? Then he said, because family is not calm. I said, why? Why is it important to you, right? Then he said things like, I had conflict at home. You know, like my mom and dad, they're quarreling. I said, why is that important? And he said, because of lack of funds at home, no money. And how do you feel? You feel helpless, you feel trapped, you feel frustrated. And it's a very big lesson for me because I didn't know that someone actually can swim. On the surface, it feels like he wants that calmness, but on a deeper level, it's because he feels trapped. And when you truly understand that, right, you can really help him at a deeper level. Would you agree? Because most people will assume that he's just swimming. Why are you disturbing him? But there's a deeper issue right there. Yeah, so ever since that case study, it really blew my mind. I didn't know that someone can actually experience all these things.
Yeah, I believe it, man. We need to actually, that's why, you know, again, that meditation practice, it taught us there's 3 levels of understanding stuff. Like, firstly, you've got the theoretical understanding. Anyone can understand that. Before the meditation, man, I thought I can understand problems and stuff. The second level is the emotional level. You know, obviously understand it a bit deeper. The third level, and the level which we need to experience a lot of things, is the experiential level, you know, like, for example, getting fucked up on something or whatnot, actually, you know, feeling that, or feeling a good emotion, feeling a bad emotion. Once you feel that internally, you can then, as you said, resonate, and it gives you that synergies for your students because you're able to help them because you've actually been there before.
You know, to be frank with you, my business is just a business whereby I truly understand them on a deeper level. My business is just me providing a very safe space for them to dig so deep that they don't even realize that, hey, there's this side of me in me. And if you say it so simply, yes, it's a simple task. But if you look at it on the other hand, it's kind of complicated. I come from a place where I was not professionally trained, to be honest with you. I was not from a psychological background or whatever, but I just have one thing, a heart to serve. So when I look at all these students, clients, or whoever, they are just stuck at this place. Some of the audience here, right? Some of you might feel stuck in something. I really can resonate with you. I just want you to know that inner work is a must. Like what me and Ryan has been talking for the longest time. Do some inner work. Don't just brush it aside and drink and down your sorrows and shit. Truly. Like the whole takeaway, if the whole conversation here you don't take away anything, just take away this, right? If you feel that you are being blocked, if you feel that you are stuck in life right now, something has to be done. Do some inner work yourself. Reflect. Ask yourself a hard question. Where do I want to be? Why am I not able to get there now? Yeah, that's about it. Like really, you
Yeah,
ask yourself these hard
that's
questions.
the difference. Like your students do with you versus say like a psychologist. And I'm not saying they're not good, but you're providing a safe space for them to kind of share their deepest securities and do the deep surgical operation. And that's the thing with psychologists as well, is that not all the time, but if you don't have like a good bond with them or you don't feel safe, like it's just like common sense and psychology. No one's gonna reveal the deepest secrets and whatnot. So you're actually doing them a big favor by giving them that safe space, harboring that, they can share what they want to share. And it's not always pretty, like when you do that deep inner work, stuff comes up, like on the meditation, man, people's names and faces came up that I hadn't seen in 5, 10, 15 years. And it's just weird for all this stuff to come up. Would I want to admit that to, someone I don't know? I mean, not sure, maybe not, but, to someone who holds space and, has the genuine care, and that's nice.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Like I didn't set out to say I want to be a coach or be this particular someone. It just came because I needed that shit. So I really hope that you guys out here, right, who are struggling or whatever, yeah, just drop me a DM if you need any help. Like I genuinely want to make sure that one more soul out there, you don't feel stuck in life. Life is so limitless, like really limitless. You can do so much shit with it. Like for the both of us, he's freaking in Australia, I'm in Singapore, and because of the same mindset, it took us time for us to calibrate this mindset, and we became friends, and we are really vibing on a very deep level. And you guys can have it as well, right? Just know your true self, and you can attract your true friends
Yeah,
at
man.
a very deep level. Yeah.
That's the thing as well. Like, we took some time to calibrate our internal GPS. And that's the reality, man. If you look at friends or relationships or whatnot that are good, if one partner had met another partner, 6 months, 2 years earlier, they almost wouldn't be in a position. Like if I had met you, Daryl, where you are now, if I met you 3, 4 years ago, I wouldn't be ready for this kind of friendship. I hadn't done that inner work and gone through that maturity to be able to accept the gifts of a friendship like this, or, of a relationship or whatnot. So people got to remember that.
For sure, for sure. I agree with you as well. So Nizam said that trust comes from the willingness to listen and not judge. Totally. That's why one thing that I always say when I conduct all my workshops, right, is that there is zero judgment in this room, and make sure everybody agree with that. Right? Make sure it's a safe space. Yeah, if not, nobody wants to be themselves. Society don't allow you to be yourself. School don't allow you. Right? Parents even worse, when you just be yourself and then be slightly rude for that moment, they're like, you're rebellious. Yeah. So it's really difficult. Like I don't know how to say this. It's like they would surely feel like they're never enough. Yeah. But the fact is that once you really understand, you come to that acceptance, right? That you are good because of your values that you have. You are good because of the characteristic strength that you possess.
Yeah.
You're not your achievement, neither are you your failures. You're not your friends' validation or your parents' appraisal. Like truly, you're you because you're you. Like, how do I say this loud enough for everybody to understand this shit?
That's right, man. It's like about finding your voice, I think Russell Brunson says you need 24 months to find it. And once you find your voice, you got to own your voice. And that's not easy because a lot of people, they're going off their parents' expectations. They're going off, what are their kids going to say? What are they, what might their kids say if they have kids, or, what will people think of them? And it just takes one step. I don't know. For me, it was like just get up, step out of bed and say fuck it, and let's just, let's own my life, let's do my life. And obviously you get hate for that in the beginning, and that's fine. That's what it is. It all works in your favor because the people who are down for you, they cling, and the people who aren't, they get out. But I think that's quite hard. What would you recommend for people, to want to find the voice and then own that voice?
I agree with that because one of my students, right, student right now, she's currently struggling with that. She really wants to build a tribe of like-minded females, right, so that they can break free from the 9 to 5 and things like that. But on the other hand, she's kind of afraid of judgment. So even I am struggling to inspire her a little bit, to be honest with you. And I'm thinking of multiple ways. For example, like number one is fabricate a very strong why. Why are you building this tribe to begin with?
Yep.
Yeah. And you do a why stack, which is what I always preach, right? You stack up multiple reasons why exactly you have to do it. And then thirdly, right, look at past achievements. What have you done previously that is kind of scary, but you've done it anyway and it felt amazing? How can you do it again? Yeah. So with these 3 things, definitely there's a breakthrough. So I mean, I'm not giving up on her yet. I'll surely push through and yeah, inspire the change in her, man.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's definitely a good exercise for people to go through, and I think something as well, like maybe public speaking. It's good, man. Because again, like what you're doing, as you said, you're not just here to, help people. You're here to help yourself, to make friends, and to improve your public speaking, and it goes for other stuff as well. Like if you're public speaking, you can educate people on certain things, improve your communication, and it flows through to so many other things.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, Nizam mentioned that most positive thinkers don't want to listen to painful stories because they can't handle the pain. That's very true. But sometimes you need to absorb the emotions first.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you to internalize the lesson. And he mentioned that yes, finding your voice and owning it is so important. We all have a message to share the world. 100% about, right? 10 upon 10. Have to agree Nizam for that. Right?
Yeah, it's
Time
good stuff.
flies, bro. Time flies.
It does, man. I mean, yeah, what should we touch on next? I mean, you've got a bit of on parenting. We love talking about that.
Yeah, talk about parenting. What is something that okay, honestly, recently I saw, I think was it Vision video on parenting. He mentioned that he's a bad parent. I
Wow.
saw a short clip, right, on how there's this doctor who's very, very hardcore on conscious parenting, uh exposed him in terms of the way he spent his time with his son. So what happened was, Vision, he will say that, hey son, let's bond. And how he bond is force his son to read encyclopedias, watch documentaries. So there was this day where his son said, hey dad, I just want to watch my Netflix. Just don't disturb me. Yeah, and
Wow.
this doctor actually asked him this, do you hear what you just asked your son to do? Documentaries, encyclopedias. Does that sound fun? And that's where he had a sudden realization. There's
Wow.
adding a lot of unnecessary pressure on his kid instead of focusing on the bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of struck a light bulb in my head, like, am I too caught up, right, in creating the perfect son or perfect daughter that I kind of neglect the emotions? I'm a bit worried on that. I'm that extreme, right, that I'm gonna eat supplements right now, right, to make sure that my kids have good genes.
Wow.
I'm that hardcore. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm really thinking, like my future wife, right, she's gonna eat tons of omega-3 and shit like that to make sure her mind, yeah, I'm gonna give my kids good genes.
Wow.
Yeah, so is what are your thoughts? Like where's the balance at?
Yeah, good question. Balance in terms of like how can we balance, I guess, the present moment with the future and getting ready for that?
100%, you're right.
I think it's a great question, man. I think that, in terms of like big decisions like purpose, mission, work, money, investments, that stuff, that's what we got to think about now, because the reality is some of it doesn't need a lot of time. It's more like time until we get to that age, like time in the market, not timing the market, they say, for shares. But then I think it's also important, to live in the moment in a way that you're present, and that, things like traveling, you get experiences, because the reality is if you develop yourself to, have more shrewdness and more wisdom, that's something you can directly pass on to your kids. And, like my parents, I'm grateful for that. They're able to share their experiences of self-development and business and whatnot because they've done that. And if they had not done that, I wouldn't have had that wisdom imparted on me. So I think that it's a good question. I think it's balance of living in the now, like traveling, doing fun stuff, gaining fulfillment for yourself. If we don't have fulfillment, and if they're always like people, if someone's parents are always stressed out because they're working to have as much money as they think they might need, like a few $1 million or whatnot, the reality is the money, I actually believe, won't be the biggest impact on the kids' development. We talk about
Yeah,
emotional development. It's more like, have you developed yourself emotionally? Have you done that inner work so you can, give that to your kids? And then obviously, if they have that, they're able to go out to the marketplace and deliver value with skills because you've developed yourself. You've given them a good childhood, and they can go out and make stuff. Versus that, I'm making 3 million, giving them the money, then they go blow it on stuff because they don't feel worthy and they're broken inside.
I love what you just said. So literally, it goes back down to you have to be a role model. Would you agree? Yeah, you can't duplicate something that you have not achieved. Right? In a nutshell, whatever you just said.
Yeah, definitely. It's good, man. I
So,
think, yeah,
so
active listening as well is very important. Like make sure the kid actually feels that they're being listened to and heard, because you don't want to be like not spending quality time with them. If you're half on your phone or half doing something else, and the kid can feel it. That's the thing with kids, man. They're really good at, telling you or giving you feedback, on how you're
yeah,
currently are, your state.
while you were sharing just now earlier, I was having a sudden realization that what if, I'm here coaching all my clients and students, saying that, your parents give you these expectations, heavy expectations, and right now you're afraid of disappointing them. The irony, the biggest irony, right, will be my kids having this fear of disappointing me. That will be the biggest irony. So I was thinking, how can I prevent that actually? Knowing that I have so much stress on myself right now to be a good father, no? I naturally will expect them to be good human beings or good children in time to come, right? So if
Yeah.
they're rebellious and oh shit, I put so much pride in them, as if like they
Yeah.
are me. Oh, so that's a whole new ball game, bro.
Whole new ball game, man. I think respect as well is important. You see that in school. Like if there's a teacher that the kids respect, they'll do anything the teacher wants. They'll do their homework. They'll show up and now participate. But when you see the kid doesn't respect the teacher, and that's why I think kids are so smart, man. Even at a young age, they're actually thinking. In a way, it sounds bad. They're thinking, can I manipulate this person? Can I get away with it? And you see with the substitute teacher, like when the teacher can't come,
Yes.
you get someone who's like not dedicated to it. He's just a kind of like you could say, doing like a daycare role, looking after the kids. They will manipulate them, and I've seen that before. It's not a good thing, but kids are very smart. That's why I think respect is good, because if someone respects someone, they'll just do what they want, not just to please them, but they respect themselves, and it fosters a safer place inside. And they're not spending their energy like trying to manipulate or game the system. They're actually like on your mission with you.
Yeah, for real. What Bagyo is laughing at? Bagyo, what's the thing?
What are you laughing at, man?
Yeah. Let's see the comment. And Nizam say yes, gotta walk the talk. Yes, for sure. Why are we laughing? Why are you guys laughing?
I'm not sure, man. What's the reference?
Yeah, I'm not sure as well.
I didn't go to India, Suba.
Hi,
Yeah, that
Richie.
was Vipassana. It was actually here in Australia. It's an Indian meditation, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Hi, what's up? What's the
Yeah.
funny?
What's funny, Baguio? Anyway, yeah.
I acknowledged you long ago. I saw you. Hi, Hui Shen. Hi, Billy. Yeah, we're just talking about parenting, relationships, and things like that. I mean, it's just all this. Honestly, this is a topic that I feel very passionate for. But at the same time, I know it's a very far topic. Hence, yeah, I have not really done the prep work, like researching on all these things. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Have you read any good books on parenting? Or no? Not
Honestly,
yet.
not yet, not yet. Yeah, it's just that like I'm I'm a very what do you call that? Experiential or practical guy. So I get my lessons or learning points right from actually interacting with people or going through certain things. Yeah,
Yep.
so if I spot certain patterns, like for example, out of 50 students, actually 45 of them say that due to parents they got their maybe fear of judgment from. So I'll be like, oh shit, I come to a conclusion that this is the reason and what are some
Yeah.
potential solution. So yeah, but of course I have to back it up with theory and things like that. Hence only recently, like the last 3 years, then I started like reading, and it's not last time I would think that books are useless.
Mm,
Yeah, but now of
yeah.
course different. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think so it's always a mix of stuff. Like you can read books and you should also experience stuff. But what people don't understand is that when you read too many books, some people criticize these people and say you're reading too much. And the reality is it's more about the balance, not how much you read. Like Bill Gates, he's reading 400 to 800 pages a day, which is 5 to 8 hours, and annual reports and biographies and all that kind of stuff. But he also balances out. He has the shrewdness from investing, and the real experience and whatnot. And that's something I'm blessed, man. I'm really blessed that I've got two baby siblings. One's like nearly turning 5 next month, and then the other one's about 4. So I'm actually able to see what what's going on, and you could say split test. See what works,
Yes, yes,
what
yes.
doesn't work. Spend the time, see what works, and it's good practice for me when I have kids later on to have it, because it's also like it awakens you to the reality. Like some people I've heard from, one of my friends actually, he's quite young. He's only like 24, 25, and he just actually had a kid with his partner, and they were not really, how could you say, they didn't know what to expect with it. And once you see what it's like, because it is hard, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It doesn't mean it's not fulfilling. But I also think sometimes, man, parenting's like systems. You need to have systems in place to kind of, do all the chores, do all these kind of things, and then you can actually spend your free time or the available time with the kid, quality time, listening, playing with them, all that stuff.
Yes, for sure, agree with that. So that's why I think that as a parent, it's kind of like entrepreneurship, if you think about it. There's so much risk.
And
You
marketing
don't
as
know
well.
yeah. Like, you really don't know how it's going to turn out. Whether
Yeah.
it's going to be a profit or a loss. After 20 years, then you know.
Yeah, dude. We've got to start now. We're documenting the journey, so that's good, man. Because I don't know how many people would study this kind of thing at this age. Like, I think a lot of people might start, 6 months or even 2 years out. But to kind of think, there's a term that someone told me. It's called the 900-year legacy. So instead of thinking of your mission, don't just think of your mission. Think of your kid's mission, and think of your family. Your family's legacy for the next 900 years. That's quite powerful. I don't think many people think that.
Wow.
Yeah,
900 years of what legacy?
900-year legacy. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Bagio said that the worst investment is a child.
Oh man.
So, yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Different people got different perspective. For me, it's
Yeah.
it's a chance for me to do things right, I guess. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless your kid turns out like Baggio.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, right. I think
Nice.
I don't know. That's why we talk about relationships. It kind of is a pair. Like you need to have a good relationship in order to be a good parent because, like, you want the parents to be on the same page. If one parent says do this, and one parent says do that, the kid gets confused, and then that kind of stuff. It's not good for the kid. Like they say in marketing, the worst bias you want to have is the confusion bias or whatnot. If you confuse people, instead of taking an action, they just don't do anything at all because they're not sure what to do. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
love it, love it. I think it's a good point that you brought that out. I think it goes back down to what we said about grandparents. Remember the previous chat, right? How my grandfather is this and my grandmother is that, and they can't really click at all, right?
Yeah.
See you, Bagio. Yeah. So
See you, man.
I think it's extremely key for us to find the right partner. It all, if I can simplify things, right? It all starts with you understanding yourself, you finding the right partner on the same frequency, same level. The both of you have certain level of success, then you duplicate the success to your kid. Remember the last time I shared you the adulting formula?
Yeah, that was good, man. I like that.
Exactly,
That's a while back.
Yeah, it goes a long while. I think 4 months ago, right? I think that is the best way to sum up like adulting, man. Like you truly start with understanding yourself, making sure that you're financially independent. Yeah, making sure your partner is financially independent, duplicating it to your kids.
That's right. And then on top of that, I guess the parenting approach, because I can see a situation where, two people are similar and say in a partnership, one partner was brought up on like hardcore discipline, like smack the kid or, beat the kid or whatever, this extreme example. Yeah. And the other parent is like, well, no tough love, tell them they're good, praise them and stuff. That's like the top level of the synergy. Like you need to make sure you're on the same page in terms of like discipline, how you're going to handle conflict with the kid, all this kind of stuff. So I think there's so many layers to it, and if you get one layer wrong, then it undermines a lot of the process.
Lovely, I agree with it totally. So in fact, I have like so many different mini systems that I want to build now. Like for example, the naughty corner. The kid will go to the naughty corner and it cannot be more than 3 minutes. If not anything beyond, right, the kids will start thinking that I'll hate daddy. Daddy made me stay here for so long. Right? And like I don't know whether you have heard of this thing called the 7 JARS, financial literacy kind of thing. So I went for this program, Millionaire Mind Intensive. So what they taught us adults, right, is that there's 7 JARS. So one is for play, the other one is for education, long-term savings fund, for retirement funds, necessities and things like that. So in my mind, I'm just thinking I'll create like mini jars like this for my little daughter to put a 10 cents, 20 cents and shit like that, man. So that is how I will teach her, like money is not free. And you can allocate it. So when she go to Toys R Us or whatever, she'll take her play account and then just spend it. And I will teach her, would you want to buy for Kaden? Kaden would be her brother. Would you want to spend and show love to Kaden? So she can have free will. She will say yes, no, up to her. I don't blame her. I don't beat her for that. And that is how I want them to have the ability to choose, make decisions at a young age.
Yeah,
So
it's a great point, man. Incentives, also maybe, I don't know, I've heard like certain people, there's a guy called Caleb Maddox, man. He
oh
used to say
yes,
that his dad
yes.
paid him, what, $20 for every self-development book he read. And, a very motivational guy, but, it's so cool. Imagine if your parents, instead of paying you, because some parents I know, man, they pay their kids to do household chores, like take the bin out. But maybe I feel like they should be expected to do that anyway, but pay them to level up, improve themselves, or those kind of things.
I'm gonna steal that idea, man. Put it inside my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's then powerful. I was so afraid of like, what if I train them right to be an employee? Like, I'm not no nothing wrong to be an employee, guys. Like, it's just that in my mind, I want him at least to be a resourceful employee, he or her, right? Someone who think from the employer's perspective. So it's like an entrepreneur, if you know that the term, right? Someone who's not doing the business but act like it is. And it's extremely important for them to get that resourcefulness at a young age. So in my head, I'm just thinking, how can I inculcate resourcefulness for my kids? Regardless, is it like male or female or whatever.
Yeah.
So Nizam said, instilling the power of legacy within your family structure with positive values and mission to serve. That is awesome. Yeah, man, Ryan, that's awesome.
Right.
I'm learning something new as well. So thanks for sending the love, guys. Keep them coming.
Yeah, dude. It's a good topic, man. Congratulations. I think today is your day 7, of showing up on IG Live.
Day 6.
Oh, day 6,
7 is tomorrow, right?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
How you feeling about the whole thing?
Okay, honestly, I'm kind of getting used to it already. It's quite good. I'm no longer looking at the numbers. So regardless whether traffic show up, I will show up. I think that's key. So I've not tried just appearing alone and just speaking yet. So probably that is kind of daunting. Yeah, I will. I kind of schedule quite full. Like every week there's someone coming up to speak, chit chat a little bit. I think the weekends I'll be speaking alone. So we shall see.
Cool, man. Yeah, it's a good thing to do, and to I love the interactivity, man. You get to interact with people, see their questions and whatnot, and it kind of gives you ideas to go off.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, Xiaotan. Hey, thanks, Andy. Appreciate the support. Yeah, Andy had been showing up as well. Nizam as well. Thanks, Nizam. I mean, you guys are awesome. Yeah, so probably we'll end the call.
Yeah, man. We'll end. This is the last book I was going to quickly mention. It's a very common book. I think it's good for parenting, man. How to win friends and influence people. Because if we understand, how to communicate with kids. There's another book my friend has called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen. And that book, it's like, if you because no one wants to be lectured to, if you can talk to your kids in a way that they actually want to do what you want them to do in a way, you kind of communicate those benefits and stuff in that way, then they just want to do it. It's you don't want to tell your kids what to do and then get annoyed when they don't do it, and then use punishments to force them. That's negative reinforcement, I feel.
How to talk and your kids will listen, is it?
I think something. I'll send it to you after. Remind me, but
okay, sure.
It's how to talk so your kids will listen, and vice versa.
Right. So I guess there's a maximum limit. We gotta go off already.
Yeah,
1 hour, 30 seconds left. See you guys.
Cool. Good chat, Daryl.
Good chat. See you soon, bro.
See you, man. Bye.